Yo guys, Ponchy here, and today is part 2 of using performance mode on your Analog 4 Mark II. Let's go. Alright, so I have a pattern pulled up here. This is what it sounds like. Or rather, I should say a sequence. I have multiple patterns. I have one voice there. I have like some stereo voices panned. And then the middle one is kind of like an accent right there. And then 4 is just kind of a pad in the background kind of thing. Not really a pad, but just like a background thing. So I have all 4 voices taken up right now. And so what I have set up here, I have a filter. Let's go back to performance configure, function performance. I have a filter performance macro set up. So let's check it out. So right here I have track 1, 2, 3, and 4 set up for the filter. So I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So let's go back and let's create a brand new macro. So go down to the empty one, press yes. So basically last time we just talked about using one effect per macro, basically. So this time I'm going to show you how to do multiple effects. That's what's so powerful about the Analog 4 and performance mode specifically, is that you can control multiple effects over multiple tracks. So on top here, they're all at track 1 right now. The way to change that is to tap the encoders or push down the encoders. So if I push down this encoder, you can see it changes to track 2, track 3, track 4, FX. You can also control the FX as well as the CV track using a macro. So right now we want to do the filter one. So let's do tracks 1, 2, 3, and 4 to make it simple. So this one will be track 2, this one will be track 3, and that one will be track 4. Okay, so from there you can turn the encoders in order to get to the filter section. We want the filter. So in my last video I showed you how you can just do filter 1 frequency, or the little trick that I like to do is doing filter 1 and filter 2 frequency. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to set filter 1 and 2 frequency for every single track here. Okay. Track 3 and track 4. Okay, so from that point, you need to set how much of the filter you want to affect. So I'll just set all of these at kind of similar but different values here. Okay, so let me make sure that my other one, okay, perfect. Okay, so now I'm going to play the sequence. So if we change the you can do it with quick performance, of course. But to do that, you have to hold quick performance and select the macro. We're on the 3rd macro right now. But for right now, we just want to test it out. Just use the track level to test it out. That's the easiest way. So you can see when you turn this up, it does indeed affect the filter of every single track. So if I set it to max values, you're basically affecting filter 2 at this point. Some of the tracks have kind of dropped out because you filtered them out completely. So don't be afraid of that, of course. But this is a perfect way to test them out and kind of adjust them here. Like say I don't want, you know, maybe you don't want track 1 to be affected by the filter so much. You can turn it down here. You can even go negative with it. But I do like it about where it was, about 50. So, you know, again, this is a point. This is an example of how you don't have to copy my exact values. You know, I want you guys to rely on your ears and set your filters, you know, not according to specific values, but rather the sound that you like based on your ears. So, you know, if you wanted to, I have the mixer pulled up right here. You could just mute one of these, and that way you can set the filters one at a time to make sure that each one is exactly how you want it to be. So track 1, I like it where it is. Let's affect this one. This one only has trigs on the 4th page, the 4th bar, so you can't even hear it at that point. So see, that's a good example of how you want to adjust it a little bit. Maybe you do want the track to drop out though when you do the maximum quick performance knob amount. So, you know, maybe that is something you want to do. Maybe you want it to be part of a break or something, a breakdown where part of the tracks, some of the tracks are completely dropped out, so you want them to be filtered out completely when you turn this up all the way. You know, I don't know. I can't be the one to tell you that that's what you want. You know, you got to make those decisions for yourself, of course. So let's try track 3 here. That one's just filtered out completely as well, so. There we go. Okay, and then let's try track 4. Okay, there we go. So that's cool. I like it where it is there. So we can do one more. I have a delay one set up. Let's do a slightly different one. Let's do kind of a reverb one. So I'm going to do the same thing with all 4 tracks. So here I want track 2, track 3, and track 4. And then, so what I want is kind of a reverby, just kind of a reverb sound for all of them. So, like, I purposely want it to be like a lot of reverb. So let's go ahead and set each one of these to reverb send. Okay. And then again, I want all of these to be pretty extreme. So let's see what that is like. Let me make sure my other macro is not. There we go. Okay. I'm going to unmute the other tracks. Let's see what happens when we turn it up all the way. Okay, not enough reverb for my liking. Let's see. See what happens if we max them all out. I would say the problem here is that I already have a lot of reverb on the tracks. See what happens if we negative. Yeah, there's not much I can do at this point, because there's already so much reverb. But that's a perfect example of how to make, you know, a reverb macro. So that's it for today, guys. Hope that helped you out. You know, hopefully you can start coming up with some really cool combinations. I mean, you can set all of these to just track one, so that way you have a macro that just affects one of the tracks and you have multiple effects going on. You know, you could set, if all of these were set to track one, you could have one for reverb, one for chorus, you know, one for the delay. You know, there's so many different combinations of stuff you can do with this. So hope that helps you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.